wasn't any cement that came into the city of New York. There was a little bit of mob tax on it because of the control of that industry.
Paul wanted to make sure no one in the family disrupted his safe money-making machine. One Paul kept his eye on. Gotti, who was now capo, wanted a bigger piece of the action in the cargo hijacking racket at JFK. And there were rumors Gotti's crew was involved in drug trafficking, a crime the boss told his men never to get into, under penalty of death.
Politicians could help mobsters if the mobsters were seen as gamblers, perhaps illegitimate businessmen, but dealing drugs to kids was a very bad image.
Crews like Gotti's crew were looked on as, possible career threats, because these are the guys, they're going to get us in the papers, they're going to get locked up, they're, involved in drugs. This is bad news for us. We've got big things cooking here.
Gotti complained about Paul's attitude, saying that guy is Big Paul, he was stuff shirt, he was a big boss, and all he has is a pain in the neck.
In a crime family, the most famous thing to do is start criticizing the boss. Because when he hears about it, the penalty is pretty severe. So he had some crews that were just strictly enforcers and killers and murderers. Everybody knew who these guys were, and those were Paul's private men.
Welcome to our Lipton Tea Factory, where the sun soaks the leaves with 4,000 hours of sunshine before we pick them at the peak of freshness for a smooth, refreshing taste and aroma in every cup of Lipton.
You just want to find a used car without getting ripped off? Start at the new Carfax.com. Show me used trucks with great deals. Show me the Carfax. Start your used car search at the all-new Carfax.com.
See, all you need right there.
Oh.
Ready? Good. And you the contender, we can just share it all.
My friend for mayor.
Finally opened my own little list.
14 I project was gorgeous bird. Oh, you keep coming?
Yeah,
Amen.
Everybody. But wherever you order, that keeps coming to you, so you can't say you want shrimp now and this and that. So if you
Build a website that can.
different names.
WordPress.com. Not having a good breakfast can make you feel like your day never started. Get going with Carnation Breakfast Essentials. It has protein plus 21 vitamins and minerals, including calcium and vitamin D, to help your family be their best. Carnation Breakfast Essentials. You don't want to cancel your plans. Cancel your cold. The one pill power of new Advil multi-symptom cold and flu knocks out your worst symptoms. Cancel your cold, not your plans. New Advil multi-symptom cold and flu.
All right, I brought in Ensure Max Protein to give you the protein you need with less of the sugar you don't.
30 grams of protein in 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein in 2 great flavors. Is your body wash gentle on your microbiome? I actually don't even know what it is. It's your science living protective layer that can bury day after day. Now, another discovery. Moisturizing formula cleanses without stripping skin's microbiome. Dove Body Wash. Microbiome gentle, softer, smoother skin.
Don't miss the Save Big Sale at Mattress Firm. For a limited time, save not just $100, not just $200, but up to $400 on best brands like Beautyrest, Serta, and Sleepiness. Take home a Serta Memory Foam Queen mattress for just $397. Plus, get a bed for as low as $9 a month. Our lowest payments ever. With 0% interest for 72 months. Have you never seen a sale savings this big? Hurry today. Your budget stretches further.
Now, New York inspired shoes. Super Stay Back. Urban Edge. Liquid wrap for up to 16-hour wear. Super Stay Backing. Only from Maybelline, New York.
It's been 18 months since we found a 19-year-old soul killed like an animal. Like she fell out of the sky.
Anyone with any information, please help.
Somebody's leaving us a clue.
continues to have tax exempt
Oh,
status.
Scientology is hiring private investigators, training people, following them.
South Scientology is includes their self-thing is going to take away this organization's ability to.
He's got lucky because he got the
Scientology in the
Gambino crime boss Paul Castellano may have appeared to be a well-dressed, legitimate New York businessman, but underneath, he was the feared leader of a violent mafia organization.
To rule a crime family, you need to be terrified of the boss.
But he would have had them grades.
Do what he tells you to do, make sure the money goes in crime. They need to fear the boss. And Paul Castellano understood that.
Whenever Castellano needed to resort to strong-arm tactics or murder, he turned to a killer like Roy DeMeo. His gang specialized in murder for hire.
What they would do is, when you went to a spot, you'd be shot in the head with a silencer with a quick pistol. They would wrap the towels on your head really quick, so the blood wouldn't go over the car. And then they would hang you upside down and bleed you. Make this with the body, box it, bag it, and the next morning, when they found it, tells you what you found, never knew it done. And they probably did in excess of 250 murders.
Castellano kept his distance from the dirty, but that didn't mean his hands were clean.
His reputation was known as a white-collar don. People understand his demeanor in the state. He had a real nasty streak.
One of the hits Castellano ordered was on his own son-in-law and Gambino soldier, Frank Amato. Amato was married to Castellano's daughter, Connie.
People crazy by Viscani. Viscani is the only daughter he has. Every time he talk about Viscani, his eyes roll up.
In 1980, Castellano heard rumors that his son-in-law was fooling around with other women and beating up Connie, who was pregnant at the time. When Connie suffered a miscarriage, Castellano blamed Frank and ordered DeMeo to kill him. On September 20th, 1980, Frank Amato disappeared. His body was never found. 2 years later, Castellano got word the feds were investigating DeMeo's activities, specifically drug dealing in dozens of murders.
Paul Castellano was afraid that the investigation into Roy DeMeo and his crew of killers would lead to him. So in 1982, he decided to have Roy DeMeo killed.
On January 10th, 1983, DeMeo's body was found in the trunk of his own car. He had been shot 7 times. The FBI, however, didn't put an end to the DeMeo investigation. In fact, they stepped up their efforts to build a case against New York's most powerful crime family. The FBI was eager to plant bugs inside Castellano's Staten Island mansion, but the agents needed to know exactly where in the house Castellano sat and held court.
So if they have a bug in the kitchen, and they talk in the kitchen most of the time, and then all of a sudden when they have something really critical to say, like they're gonna kill somebody and they go on the porch, you're screwed. That's where the maid came in.
Employee Gloria Olarte did more than just clean the Castellano house. She made the boss's bed and slept in it. Because of this illicit affair, the FBI was always trying to get inside information out of her, whether it was offering to buy her a cup of coffee while she was out running errands, or some other pseudo-friendly tactic. Gloria caught on and told her boss and lover. Castellano gave her only one piece of advice.
Don't worry, be careful. If he asks you something, answer whatever you have to answer. Don't lie, please don't lie.
As it turns out, she never did, and unknowingly, the truth she eventually mentioned to an FBI agent would prove to be the downfall for Castellano. She told the agent that when Mr. Paul, as she called him, spoke on the phone or held meetings, it was always at the kitchen table. Gloria Olarte just gave the feds an ideal location to plant the bug. However, it wouldn't be easy. With the 3.5-acre estate protected by a state-of-the-art security system, a high wrought iron fence, and a nasty Rottweiler named Duke, the FBI had to go undercover to get inside. They sent an agent posing as a repairman to the house. Castellano and Gloria Olarte were there, as well as Castellano's driver Tommy Bellotti, who watched the agent's every move.
Here you got the agent, you got this known killer that's watching over him. So right while he was standing there, watching him, the agent installed the microphone. And thinking he was fixing what he was supposed to be fixing.
During the next 4 months, over 600 hours of conversations were recorded. Unaware of any of this, Castellano outlined mafia plans, badmouthed other family bosses, and made loving asides to his maid Gloria. He was unknowingly digging a hole for himself and the entire New York mafia.
There's blood in here. There's casing inside. Just when you think you've seen it all, you get something like this. We got a serial killer going on here.
This is what it's all about right here.
The first 48 new episodes, Thursdays at 8 on A&E. This Beneficial, grain-free. It's so healthy. Dark farm-raised chicken. It's good chicken. Here come the accents. Blueberries and pumpkin. Wow. And spinach. That was my favorite bite so far.
Beneful grain-free. Out with the grain, in with the farm-raised chicken. Healthful, flavorful, Beneful.
Free, 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 free.
That's right. TurboTax Free is free. Free, 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 free.
Behold the power of the $5 bill. Well, thank you, Dad. Oh, you're welcome, family. What would we do without you? I shudder to wonder.
At Pizza Hut, we're a $5 lineup of your favorites for just a Lincoln each.
90% of women have a skincare routine, but what about a lip care routine? Pay your lips some attention. The Chapstick Total Hydration Collection. Exfoliate, nourish, naturally enhance your lips. Chapstick, put your lips first.
Your mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis. Before you and your rheumatologist move to another treatment, ask if Xeljanz XR is right for you. Xeljanz XR is a once-daily pill for adults with moderate to severe RA for whom methotrexate did not work well enough. It can reduce pain, swelling, and further joint damage, even without methotrexate. Xeljanz XR can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have tears in the stomach or intestines, serious allergic reactions, low blood cell counts, higher liver tests, and cholesterol levels. Don't start Xeljanz XR if you have an infection. Your doctor should perform blood tests before and while taking Xeljanz XR and monitor certain liver tests. Tell your doctor if you've been somewhere fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B or C, or are prone to infections. Don't let another morning go by without talking to your rheumatologist about Xeljanz XR.
Ready to take on your master bath? Here's your master plan. Get everything you need here or get it delivered. We put your next bathroom in your hands. With Bang-Me starting at $139. They'll be more safe, more doable.
Stand up if you are first-generation college student. Stand up if you're a mother. If you are actively deployed, a veteran, or you're in a military family, please stand. The world in which we live equally distributes talent, but it doesn't equally distribute opportunity. And paths are not always the same. I will tell you this, Southern New Hampshire University can change the whole trajectory of your life.
You have 24 hours to explore, to hit new heights. 24 hours to get caught up in traffic, to see things from a different point of view. Explore the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Guarantee your place at 1-800-PIT-SHOP or DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
I waited many years before deciding to pursue my degree. I believe that I will be amazing at whatever I do because of my online experience at St. William University. I can't believe my advisor, Christy, showed up on my day of graduation. That touched my heart. Every day you think of that moment, it is unforgettable.
Earn your degree online or in one of our many education centers near you. Visit stleo.edu to learn more.
During the summer of 1983, the FBI made the first of a series of arrests based on evidence collected from bugs and wiretaps. Over the next 10 years, these recordings would lead to the decimation of the Gambino crime family. In this first bust, 8 Gambino soldiers, all belonging to John Gotti's crew, including his brother and best friend Angelo Ruggiero, were arrested for smuggling heroin.
theoretically, in some families, there was a death penalty for dealing drugs, but it wasn't always enforced.
Most of the evidence against Gotti's men came from the FBI's wiretap in the Long Island home of Angelo Ruggiero, nicknamed Quack Quack because he talked so much.
Angelo would go up to visit Paul Castellano on Sundays with Neil Delacroce and John Gotti. And so Angelo would come back, we couldn't believe it. He would talk about everything. He's the kind of guy, if he hears something, he has to let you know that he is in on what's going on. So he'd come and he would brag about it. And that's perfect for what we want.
Castellano ordered Gotti to turn over a copy of the tapes, which had been provided to the defendants during pretrial discovery.
John knew if he turned these tapes over, he's dead, along with his whole crew.
In addition to confirming that his group dealt in drugs, the tapes would reveal just how much the Gotti gang reviled the boss. The feds knew all about the power struggle over the tapes. They were listening in on a bug planted in underboss Neil Delacroce's bedroom, where he lay dying of cancer.
And here was John Gotti and Angelo standing there at Neil's deathbed while the tapes were turning and the FBI was listening in.
I'm gonna tell you something. If you two never bother me again in the rest of my life, I ain't giving them anything. I can't. There's good friends of mine on them. That's why I said to you before, you don't understand what it is. It's not for me, it's some boys, Understand?
Although Delacroce was a loyal underboss to Castellano, he was also Gotti's mentor and protector. So Delacroce tried to keep the peace and stall for time. The heads of the other mafia families in New York watched to see how Castellano would discipline his own men.
Oh, I don't think there's any question that Paul Castellano thought about killing John Gotti and Angelo Ruggiero. It's unclear if he would have. Paul Castellano was not as trigger happy as John Gotti was. Maybe not for any benevolent reason, but because murder does have a way of bringing heat from law enforcement officials.
But before he could make a decision, Castellano was arrested on March 30th, 1984. He was charged with people, including Roy DeMeo.
I remember I walked right up to him. He was a big guy. He must have been 6'5", and I stuck out my hand and said, "How do you do, Mr. Castellano? John Miller." And I remember he put out his hand, and I grabbed this big hand, and I remember it was very sweaty, clammy. It was like he was a nervous man. And you thought, well, gee, this guy runs the Gambino. You know, if he presses a button, people get killed. You know, here he was nervous.
Castellano was released on a $2 million bond. He put on a brave face and tried to get back to business. Then the dam broke. On February 25th, 1985, Castellano was arrested, along with the bosses of all of New York's other crime families. It was the biggest mob bust in history. The bosses who all racketeering in connection with shaking down New York building contractors. Much of the evidence came
Backseat of the car being brought in for processing, and the newscast came over to the car radio that the FBI had just arrested the commission, and a lot of the information was based on the microphonic surveillance of bug placed in Paul Castellano's house. He said, "Did you guys really bug my house?" And he was muttering